At first it was just a speck, a data anomaly, a line of light crossing a digital sky. But almost immediately it became something else, something terrifying. An object had entered our solar system, and it was fast. Too fast. It wasn't part of any known orbit. It didn't belong to the Oort cloud. And it certainly wasn't following the rules of natural celestial motion. Even stranger, it came from a part of the sky scientists have feared for decades, the same constellation from which we once received the infamous WOW signal. Now 3 Atlas, a new interstellar object, was charging toward the heart of our system. What stunned researchers was what the James Webb Space Telescope had just seen in its trail. Anomalous gas emissions, absorption lines that made no sense, and, most disturbing of all, a signal, a pattern too structured to be random. A whisper from the darkness left top astronomers speechless. Was it natural, a cosmic accident, or something meant to be seen? The world was watching because this time we might not get another chance. From the moment it was first detected, 3 Atlas defied expectations. Racing through space at speeds exceeding 61 km/h, faster than any known asteroid, comet, or natural body in our neighborhood, it was already well inside Jupiter's orbit and closing on the Sun. Speed, however, wasn't the only anomaly. Its trajectory was almost too perfect, a narrow, calculated path that happened to align precisely with the plane of our solar system's planets, a geometric coincidence so rare it immediately raised red flags. Unlike other interstellar objects that enter at chaotic angles, 3 Atlas moved as if it had a flight plan, skimming the ecliptic as if following pre-programmed waypoints. Even more unsettling, its path would take it dangerously close to Mars, offering a perfect observational window for our orbiters before it looped around the Sun. It would never come close to Earth. In fact, Earth would be on the opposite side of the Sun during its closest approach, as if intentionally avoided. And that is where suspicion began to grow. Tracing its origin led astronomers back to a section of sky that has haunted SETI researchers for decades, Sagittarius, the same region that once produced the powerful unexplained WOW signal. Now another object from that direction was approaching, and this one wasn't silent. As 3 Atlas neared the inner solar system, scientists trained the world's most advanced instruments on it, including the Very Large Telescope in Chile and the James Webb Space Telescope itself, and the findings shattered expectations. When sunlight heats a comet, ices sublimate and metals vaporize, typically releasing gases like iron and nickel together because of how they form in stars. This time, Webb detected nickel gas but no iron, a highly unnatural separation, as if something selectively released one metal while keeping the other locked away. Even more bizarre was the presence of cyanide. Although cyanide is common in comets, its concentration spiked far too rapidly relative to the object's distance from the Sun. This wasn't a slow thermal reaction. It was a sharp explosive chemical release, behavior not normally associated with rocks or ice, but with engineered materials under stress. Some experts, like Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, publicly entertained the possibility that we might not be looking at a natural object at all. What if this was not a comet but machinery? If so, who or what had built it? One of the most chilling aspects of 3 Atlas wasn't just its path or its chemical signature. It was the way it glowed. Normally a comet shines by reflecting sunlight. More luminosity implies a larger body. Based on its brightness, 3 Atlas should be larger than Manhattan Island. Yet telescopic measurements suggested it was smaller, implying it might be producing its own light, an idea that breaks every known model of interstellar bodies. Artificial light in deep space is something we associate with spacecraft, satellites, or reactors. As scientists modeled heat distribution across the object's surface, something even more puzzling emerged: asymmetry. One side absorbed more heat, radiated more light, and showed gas emissions inconsistent with natural rotation, almost like exhaust ports or internal compartments. Suddenly, a rock-like object started behaving like a probe, designed not just to observe but to blend in. This wasn't science fiction. In 2017, Oumuamua behaved in ways we couldn't explain either, yet the scientific community moved on too fast. With 3 Atlas, we've learned a lesson. If it really is powered, if it is artificial, the question shifts from what it is to who sent it and why now. Then came the signal, a faint pulse buried in spectral data that didn't match any known cometary emission, solar flare or cosmic background source. At first it was dismissed as interference, but as Webb's data continued to pour in, the pattern repeated. A non-random pulse, mathematically structured and echoing at intervals too precise to be natural. Scientists compared it to historical signals, fast radio bursts, pulsar beats, even the WOW signal itself, and what they found was terrifying. Not only did the new pulse share a similar frequency band with the WOW signal, it came from the exact same region of space, the Sagittarius constellation, a place long suspected of harboring mysteries we barely understand. But this time the signal wasn't distant. It rode along with 3 Atlas, as if the object wasn't just emitting light and gas but communicating. Whether intentional or not, it became clear that we were no longer simply observing a rock from the stars. We were intercepting a transmission, one that might not have been meant for us, or perhaps one that was meant to be found when we were finally smart enough to notice. To grasp the terror behind 3 Atlas, we must rewind to 2017, when Oumuamua, the first confirmed interstellar object, slipped past Earth silent, fast, and strange. Initially thought to be a cigar-shaped asteroid, its movement was inexplicable. It accelerated without a tail, with no gas, dust, or jetting ice to explain the behavior, just a gentle push like a spacecraft making a course correction. Scientists eventually labeled it a mystery and moved on, but some never forgot. Javi Loeb insisted we had missed something monumental and had ignored evidence of engineered origin. Now with 3 Atlas, it feels like déjà vu. But worse, unlike Oumuamua, which flew past before we could react, 3 Atlas is still here, still emitting strange signals, still shedding unnatural gases, and still following a path that mirrors the gravity-assist flybys we use for our probes. If Oumuamua was the warning shot, 3 Atlas might be the follow-up. A second contact, a second chance, or something else entirely, and this time we think we are ready. As more telescopes zeroed in on 3 Atlas, a daring idea spread through corners of the scientific community, an idea they weren't quite ready to publish but couldn't keep silent about. What if this object isn't merely artificial, but aware? Not consciousness as we understand it, but awareness like a predator watching from the shadows. Its trajectory is too perfect, its acceleration too deliberate, its silence too strategic. The gases it emits appear to be the byproduct of design, not decay. Its approach vector allows it to observe the solar system's major planets without ever being observed itself. The alignment is surgical, almost like a survey mission. Viewed through this lens, every detail becomes more sinister. The absence of iron, the precision of its path, the glow that defies thermodynamics, and now the signal. It's as if something is testing us, watching, measuring our reaction, gauging our readiness, and perhaps preparing for something we're not supposed to understand yet. This isn't random exploration. It feels intentional. James Webb's spectral analysis revealed a puzzling chemical mix, primarily carbon dioxide, cyanide, and almost pure nickel vapor. Each compound might be explained individually through natural processes, but together in these quantities and released in the observed pattern, they paint a different picture. Nickel is not usually found in isolation in space. It comes with iron, but here iron is almost absent. Cyanide doesn't spike this violently in known cometary behavior, and carbon dioxide in such amounts suggests either a new class of object or something burning fuel. Loeb and others pointed out that many industrial processes, especially those involving high-performance alloys or propulsion systems, can release this combination of gases under stress. Imagine a nuclear-powered spacecraft designed to endure extreme heat, built with exotic materials, engineered coatings, and adhesives. Passing close to the sun, its hull could expand, seams crack, and molecular byproducts could be released, not from melting ice but from decaying technology. What we're seeing may not be a comet's breath, but the leak of a dying machine. In the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, the dark forest hypothesis casts a long shadow. It suggests the universe teems with life, but civilizations stay silent, because revealing your existence invites destruction. Viewed through this idea, 3 Atlas could be a scout disguised to look natural, programmed to avoid Earth while emitting faint signals, measuring, mapping, and transmitting data back to somewhere far beyond our reach. It never approaches Earth, never risks detection, and never breaks its cover, yet it knows we're watching. The fact that we've detected it could change everything. Maybe it was never meant to be seen, or maybe this was a final test to see if we're ready, not for contact, but for revelation.